So, Hotshot, you want to fight Majin Buu?
Fight you? No, I want to kill you.
Oh yeah, it's long overdue for me to talk about one of my favorite characters, Gohan. Gohan is one of the most beloved characters in the franchise, and it's for good reason. Introduced in episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z, Gohan is shown to be almost the exact opposite of his father. He is small, he is meek, he is polite, and does not embody a fighter spirit at all. Very quickly though, we are shown that Gohan has some edge to him. He's not just a regular kid, he has power, like a lot of power, but he has no control over it, and it's only triggered in very certain circumstances. To this point, Gohan is one of the more nuanced characters in Dragon Ball. It's nothing too crazy or never seen before, but it's not straightforward and there is some subtlety that it's handled with. Nothing about Gohan's character felt rushed. They pulled his power out slowly and got the character ready for when he did take the big stage. Let's talk about Earth some more. During the first saga, the Saiyan saga, Gohan is really the character that turns Piccolo into a good guy. At this point in the series, people are still nervous around Piccolo. Everybody is worried when he takes Gohan, but nobody challenges him because they know that they can't stand up to him. As a result, we gain a really endearing story wherein Gohan learns how to fend for himself and how to be confident in himself, but also Piccolo learns to care and love for another. It's also his first time being cared and loved for in the series too. Not to make it too mushy though, like Piccolo did still throw Gohan straight into a mountain and left him for dead multiple times, but throughout all of that, their relationship grows and we really see Piccolo's cold heart turn warm. This is important because Gohan is like 5 years old. Piccolo effectively becomes his surrogate father and best friend at this point. Even with all this training and bonding, Gohan doesn't seem to get any plot armor. Come their first battle with Nappa, Gohan is afraid and scared. Piccolo and Krillin even set up an attack directly for Gohan. Piccolo hits first, Krillin hits second, and Gohan's job is simply to blast Nappa and he runs away. It is made very clear from the outset, fighting just doesn't come naturally to Gohan the way that it comes to Goku and our other Z fighters. Or at the very least, the spirit of it. He can always keep up in power somehow, but he doesn't want to be there. And the best of his power doesn't come out until Piccolo is killed as a result of that fight. Even with his other friends like Tien and Chaozu and Yamcha dropping, his hidden power doesn't kick in until he sees Piccolo drop right in front of him. This keeps the course from the first time we saw his rage boost in action against Raditz. It happened when his father Goku was in the deepest perils of trouble. After these incidents occur, it seems as though Gohan hardens himself to what he needs to be for these battles. When Goku is fighting Vegeta on his own, he decides to go back because he feels his father's in trouble. Gohan is the one that walks Vegeta down and fights him one-on-one after he was damaged from his fight with Goku. Heck, by turning Great Ape and falling on Vegeta, he's the reason that Goku didn't die again here in this arc. This is Gohan's first showing that he can take care of others, and he can fight battles that need to be fought. He had to learn from his scrapes and bruises with Nappa, but come Vegeta, he has much more confidence and he's willing to go into battle. This is the same attitude he brings to Namek. His emotions and his confidence are at an all-time high in Namek. We see his blood boil when the Frieza soldiers are torturing the native Namekians, and he doesn't even care that Frieza is right there in front of him when he jumps down and saves them. He's the one that saves Dende, effectively saving everybody in the series once again, and he's also the one that saves Vegeta's life when he's teamed up with Krillin fighting the Ginyu Force. And even when fighting second form Frieza directly, he puts up a better fight than Vegeta did. I mention all of this to say that Gohan is now a different character than what he was introduced to us as. Come Namek, he is no longer afraid of conflict and he is willing to fight anybody if they are putting people in danger. Not just his closest friends, his father, Piccolo, anybody because he sees that life has value, and if someone is threatening to take life away from someone, Gohan is eager to step in and ensure that that does not happen. Gone with the scaredy cat that we once knew, we now have a brazen soldier ready to take on his next challenge. And what a challenge it is. The next saga was the Android saga. Home to villains like Android 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, aka Dr. Gero, and the main antagonist, Cell. Also home to Marin, Krillin's ex, who he named his daughter after when he got with his wife. I just felt like mentioning that. However, in this arc we see more of Gohan rushing into battles, first with Mecha Frieza, second with the androids when they did finally arrive, and we know that he trained for 2 years with his father, Piccolo, and other Z fighters in preparation for these androids. On top of that, we're introduced to future Trunks, who tells us that in his timeline, Gohan has become Earth's mightiest defender. Like I said before, there was a lot of build-up and a lot of signs that foreshadowed what would happen at the end of this arc. But I focus on how Gohan is portrayed and the experiences he goes through to show the type of character that is being built up here. Gohan is intelligent, he's responsible, wise beyond his years, and honestly doesn't have to be ordered around that much. In short, I'm just saying the man stand on business. But throughout all of these showcases of character and power, there is a very sudden shift that happens when it comes time for him to fight Cell. That eagerness that he had to stop evildoers, gone. He halfway refuses to fight, and then when Cell pops out Cell Juniors to try and egg Gohan on, he pleads with him to stop. Now look, I understand. Some people say that Gohan just didn't like being played like a fiddle, essentially. This plan was made without his knowledge, and he didn't want to be used to just fight and be a killing machine against Cell. And I would accept that, and that would be fair. But Gohan has been on 10 ever since he turned around and went back to help his dad when he was fighting Vegeta. Even if he was a little disheartened by the fact that he was set up for this and nobody told him or nobody even asked him if it was something he'd be willing to do, he's shown his willingness to do it in every single season before this one. Every chance he got, that man has been going after main villains. And all of a sudden, now that it's actually needed and everybody's looking towards Gohan to do what he has been doing, now he turns into a pacifist. I'm not going to harp on this point too long. I just feel as though I have to point out this very sudden character shift. From the strong, confident, intelligent, and eager to fight Gohan that we had all built up to this, to the pacifist that we now have that just doesn't want to fight at all. This is where I would say we first get a mistake with Gohan's character and how it's handled. The Gohan that understands responsibilities would never refuse to fight when Cell is right there torturing everybody and threatening the planet. And then they doubled down on changing Gohan's character by making him so cocky. Gohan was shown to be overconfident in the series. When he fought Nappa, he let out a line one time that he would be able to hold him off on his own until Goku came when he first started to harden up. And it definitely takes a level of overconfidence for a kid Gohan to rush Frieza and just give him hands like that. But overconfident isn't cocky. Gohan was overconfident in a way where he would grit his teeth, clench his fists, and face whatever challenge was head on, no matter what it was, and give it his all. And that overconfidence came from a place of deep disdain. Gohan hates evil. That's what made him so riled up and ready to burst whenever he saw it. But when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2 against Cell, that hate and all that energy and pent-up aggression is nowhere to be found. Honestly, Gohan behaves a lot more like Vegeta than like the Gohan we've grown to know and love at this point. He plays with his food, he's showing off, and this fight reads a lot like Vegeta's fight against Android 19. And this doesn't work for two main reasons. Number one, this isn't true to the Gohan that you've shown him to be. Number two, even if you go with this new Gohan, this pacifist Gohan, a pacifist Gohan who isn't with the plan that Goku formulated, shouldn't take so much joy in slowly torturing Cell. He should want to eliminate the problem, yes, but he blatantly tells Goku, no, I'm not going to end this fight right now. I'm going to make him suffer. Does that sound like a pacifist? Does that sound like somebody who doesn't enjoy fighting, who is only here because he has to be? No, it's not true to either character. It's so out of left field. And I hate to dig into such a fan favorite moment, but I have to call out when a character isn't being true to themselves or when the writing is somewhat iffy, and that's the case here. This is the start of problems for Gohan. After Cell is defeated and after the 7-year time skip, we see an adult Gohan now. And you guessed it, he's changed even more. And something I want to point out really quick, there's nothing wrong with a character growing and continuing on in a trajectory or even altering it, but changing a fundamental without any reason or any prior foreshadowing is bad writing. And that's what happens with Gohan. I have to call out how out of character it is that Gohan, having assumed the mantle, taking over for Goku because he's dead now, refused to train in the slightest for 7 years and let himself regress to the point that he's weaker than when he fought Cell. This is just not Gohan. Gohan is responsible. Gohan never had to be told to go train or told that he has to go fight. Aside from Piccolo, of course, at the start when he's a child. But after that, he's kept that up on his own. But for some reason, they make him stop. And unfortunately, this is the start of a trend that would last all the way till current day. Gohan refuses to train, then Gohan sees a villain that he can't handle. He realizes that he should have kept up his training because he has a family and loved ones that he cares about. And then he gets a random transformation that just gets explained away as, well, Gohan's always had limitless latent potential. The fact that we had this exact thing happen once in the Buu saga, once for Revival of F, once for before the Tournament of Power, and now again with Dragon Ball Superhero is frustrating to say the least. And the manner in which his beast form came with a resurrected Cell and redoing the pose, it's an issue that didn't have to be an issue. It was the same as having Vegeta redo his super explosive wave from his final atonement. There's no reason to recreate these Dragon Ball scenes in Dragon Ball Super. Super has to make their own iconic moments instead of recreating them from Z. And they've done it before with Ultra Instinct. They just have to keep the focus in that direction. The cheap recreations or member berries just don't help anybody. But while I don't like the means in which he got his new form, I can recognize that it puts him back on the island of relevancy. And if they can do something with that, I'll be very happy. Funny enough, one of the best portrayals of Gohan that I've seen came in Broly's Second Coming. While the movie definitely had its issues, it portrayed Gohan later.